everyone, welcome back to Today We Don't Go to Hobbies. Right, women and menopause. Do you know what? I think I might have upset someone, and it wasn't intentional. But when I was moaning about my wife and her menopause, two things. One, you don't know me. Two, you don't know my wife. Three, there's another thing. You don't know what sort of relationship we have. But if you haven't been through a menopause, you don't know what it's like, right? I've been with my wife through the menopause, right? And how it affected her and how it affected me. The mood swings, the attitudes, the verbal diarrhea, and the, what's the word I'm looking for? Everything that goes with a woman's tongue, but worse. Why am I saying this? Because it's all right making suggestions about me doing this or doing that, but the difference is if you haven't been in my relationship, you can't speak for me. I can only speak for myself. Being in a relationship with a woman that's going through or been through the menopause, and in honesty and truthfully, that it was hell. It was absolutely hell on earth. And I'm not saying that because I'm making it out not to be that. It was that. And I can appreciate it must be hard for a woman as well to having your hormones go up through the air and come crashing down again. It can't be easy. And I'm not saying it's not in the slightest. But when you're living with someone that is a moody person at the best of times, and when they change to a different type of person when they've got the menopause, it is a whole new ball game. And to be honest with you, wow, it was an experience of a lifetime, which I don't really particularly want to go through again. So it's not that I don't get on with my wife. Her moods are her biggest problem. But like any relationship, you have good days, you have bad days. And it's not just about berating my wife. You should hear what she says about me. So, all fairness in love and war, as the saying goes. But, you know, all you're seeing is it from one side. But there's always two sides to a coin. So don't make a judgment before you've heard both sides. And I was giving you my perspective on how I was coping with my wife's menopause. And if other women are like my wife, then us poor blokes are going to get it right in the neck. And I'm just saying that every woman's different, every man's different. We've all got different characters. Yeah, I've been through thick and thin with my wife. And, you know, she's been there for me, I've been there for her. And perhaps she don't understand my sort of banter or my feelings towards my nagging wife. And, oops, bear with, I just opened the window. I went a little bit too far back. I've got window switches behind me. So if you don't know where I am, I'm in a truck. And I'm a truck driver by trade. So anyway, back to what I was saying. And that is that it, how do I put this? I'm not a woman. I never have been. I never will be. And I can only speak for myself as a man. But seeing a woman go through the menopause, how it affects them, and how it affects a woman's behaviour. You know, as a loving husband that does care, and you try your best. But sometimes in a relationship, it just doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Because the person you married has changed. And it's probably like me as well. I've changed since I've been married. Um, my wife would probably say I'm lazy, sit on my ass too much, don't pay attention, don't listen. All the normal man traits, you know. But unfortunately, I'm 64. So what did you say? But don't get me wrong. I mean, like the weekend we just went through. Um, got home Friday night, and she gave me both barrels. And then Saturday evening, I got both barrels. And I thought, why? Why? But there was an underlying current to that. It weren't my fault, but she was obviously venting, and I was in um, due course. So that's what happened. A man will never, ever, ever understand a woman because we're from two different planets. All right? We're two different types of people. And a man that says he understands a woman is lying. And that is the truth. You will never, ever understand a woman. And then give me an example. And that is you ask a wife a question and you expect an answer. And then they give you a totally different answer to what you're expecting. That's their prerogative. But when you get to a point and you're let down, and it works both sides. I let my wife down, unfortunately, and I'm sorry about that. But at the end of the day, relationships are relationships. Yes, um, I do suffer with stress from my wife and the way she carries on, and it is bloody hard work, to say the least. And I find it how I keep my sanity, I do not know, because it is like living through a hurricane. It is sometimes hell on earth. And I'm not saying that lightly. It is hell. And I try not to argue. I try to keep my patience. And my way of getting around it is not to say much. And I've learnt that. As the old saying goes, you keep nodding your head and saying yes. But it doesn't always work, as you know. But there we go. That's a bit of an explanation to attitudes towards me and menopause and stuff like that. But you've got to remember one thing, and that's this. Us men are just an optional extra. And women don't need us men, my wife keeps telling me. I'm being made redundant. Oh well, can't please everyone, can I? So I'm glad I've been useful for some things, like 3 kids. Oh dear. We won't go down that line. But there we go. So as I say, I can't please everyone, but I try my best. And as for menopause and women and blokes not realising what's going to happen, yeah, forewarned is forearmed. And I'll tell you what, I know every woman's different, but when they hit their menopause, watch out, because it is going to get rather awkward. Should we just say that? Awkward. As I said before, forewarned is forearmed. Anyway, I hope this sort of sorts the last video out about menopause and women and my wife and so on. So hopefully that clarifies things a bit better and puts an explanation to a comment I got. So there we go. As I will say, as always, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Please like, share, subscribe. But I will tell you this, I cannot please every one of you. And that's the whole point about this channel, is that it's about giving an opinion of my feelings, how I see things, and I'm not going to please all of you. It can't work that way. But I try to be honest with you. I try to tell you how it makes me feel, and so on and so forth. But what I won't do is try to mislead you into something which has not happened. I'll tell you the truth, what has happened to me, and it has been what it has been, and that is hell on earth. And there's the truth. You wasn't me, and I weren't you, and you wasn't my wife. So there we go. I think that sums it all up. An explanation. Thank you very much for watching. See you next video. Bye.